You good?
Hello. This is Hades, which is our next event. There's not much to it. We're not adding any new rules. It's just some straight playthroughs, seeing how many runs I can get. If I can get a complete run, that'd be nice, but I don't expect to. But we do have some donation goals, which we are still trying to get ready at the moment. If you can wait on that.
To say, what do you think would be reasonable values?
Um,
$20?
the weapon one should be a little bit higher.
Okay.
As for the boons, that can be pretty low because I get boons pretty frequently.
Alright, I'll set this to
Maybe 10, 5 for the boons.
Yeah, $5 or $10.
Yeah.
Like they happen. You'll get like 20 of them plus in a run.
Yeah.
Ideally.
And boons. Let's set that one to
Alright.
5.
5 is fine. If it becomes a problem,
Yeah.
you can change it.
Alright, I'm gonna start up the save. Which I have beaten the game twice, so I do have some of the post-content stuff unlocked. And I have unlocked, to my knowledge, every weapon. But for that reason, I will warn that there will be some minor spoilers, some major. So to be careful with that.
Could I get someone's phone with the stream on it real quick so I can do some audio checking?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. Oh,
Okay.
Right.
Already.
It's just especially because of the voice stuff, I want to make sure we have it nice and balanced.
Ready. Maybe you're nice and balanced.
And we're starting with Artemis. Which,
Crit,
not my
crit.
favorite.
Hey,
Then I will probably ignore you like a
reasons. Be ready, Allie.
I would take it first. Normal attack damage. Go burr. But yeah, Hades, if you don't know, is a roguelite/roguelike. Difference is negligible. So we operate on like a run-based system where you start with nothing other than some of the permanent upgrades that you can buy with this currency called Darkness that you get throughout the run. And you collect items, and most notably these boons, which appear at the end of certain rooms, and they're offered from some of the Olympic deities, and they offer you a ton of different power-ups, and they probably would not be able to beat the game without picking up any.
If you guys want to turn up the TV on it a little bit, I think you probably can.
You can do that.
Yeah, it's not being picked up at all on the
Nice.
thing, so it's fine.
Awesome.
It
I
could
love this
probably
game's
go
soundtrack.
even higher if you really want to, Allie, but that's up to you.
I may hold off for now.
Cool.
But if I feel it's necessary, I'll speak up.
It is worth saying, just as a note, the audio of the game is a lot louder on the stream than it starts, and so during dialogue, I don't know if you guys want to try and respect it just to let the game shine, because that's a really big part of a lot of the game's identity and personality.
True.
So maybe you're allowed to keep going, but if you have let's say have a long moment, I will turn the game audio way down if you want to have a conversation about something, because otherwise the dialogue stuff definitely will kind of be a bit of a mismatch.
I'm getting a lot of health in this run. If I had a nickel for every time I got health so far, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot.
But it's very weird that it happened twice.
Yeah.
So, who here has played the rest of Supergiant's catalog?
No.
Okay, so Tommy has, has anyone else? Is that it? Okay, so one fun thing that people might not know about Hades is that basically every single game mechanic in this game comes from Bastion. The way every single weapon in this game functions is almost the way every single weapon in Bastion functions, and almost every single weapon in Bastion translates into fire in some way. Transistor is really the only game that doesn't match up with this style, and even then, it's very, very similar in terms of visuals and other stuff. And so it's kind of cool how Supergiant has established its almost kind of own flavor of top-down kind of, I guess, ARPG-adjacent games, with their own kind of unique weapon control. Like, for example, the bow in this game is basically 1-for-1, exactly the same as the bow in Bastion. There are a few little things that are different, but it's very, very similar. And I just think that's kind of neat.
It's especially fun because it means if you like Hades, you can play Bastion.
If you like Hades especially, play Pyre.
Pyre is...
Pyre is one of my favorite games. It is so amazing. It would be terrible to run for an event like this because it's almost like 90% visual novel, but it's very good. You can definitely see why Hades is so dialogue, character, and story focused.
I thought for certain you would make it out, but seems that nasty place has kept you grounded, hasn't it? But don't despair, and you take heart.
Yeah, every time you pick up a boon, you get a big dialogue
Yeah.
from one of the 12 Olympians, and then plenty of others that you can get dialogue for.
And there is a wild amount of dialogue. in
There's
this
so
game.
much dialogue.
Yeah.
Right, even just during your run, nonetheless, in like the main hub area, which has... I don't even know how many characters you can talk to in there.
I'm somewhere around 20 runs, 20-something runs, and I've yet to hear a piece of dialogue repeat.
I was about to say, I watched most of Northern Lions' series that he did on the game, and I think in like 40 episodes, I didn't hear any repeat dialogue. Which is insane.
Admittedly, you probably forgot some by then,
Yes.
but the fact that it doesn't feel that way, that you didn't feel that you were getting repeat dialogue, it speaks volumes to how much there actually is in there.
The other thing is there's so many different Olympians that the fact that you don't get all of them in every run means that you might not see one for a few runs, and so that means the dialogue for them is like exhausting even slower. But it is insane how much written dialogue there is in this game. I would be interested in seeing the word count of the script.
Right?
Yeah. I also love just how much character it has. Like, everyone has a personality and nobody's... I don't know, no one's boring. No one's a dry character.
Also, I believe Logan Cunningham is his name. He's the guy that voices basically all of the best voiced characters in a Supergiant game. He was the narrator in Bastion. I think he's Hades in this. I think he's a few other people as well. He was the Sword in Transistor, and I can't remember who he was in Fire. But he was in Fire, I know that for certain. But yes, he is as much part of Supergiant as like the perspective and everything else like that. He is fantastic.
It would not be a Supergiant game without his inclusion somewhere.
Good enough
Yeah.
to eat.
Well, hopefully. The absolute nightmare scenario is that for some reason it turns out that people should stop working with him, and then all of a sudden this company that has their relationship tied to this one particular voice now all of a sudden has to be like, hey, so you know that guy?
I could risk my health to restore up to 100 for my full health.
That's so worth it. So do you want to explain a little bit about the kinds of rooms and how that works?
Hey, sir.
Honestly, there's 3 sections, right? There's 3 normal sections. And then there's the end, which is a bit weirder, which I'll get to.
Well, it's more just meaning like the way you were selecting between rooms, like what you were...
Oh, well, each time you get to a door, it shows you in the orb, the little crystal ball, what's going to be in there at the end. Sometimes it only gives you 1 option, sometimes it gives you 2. I think there might be instances where you have 3, but it's rare. But I look at the image for what I'm looking for. It really depends on how the run's going. Like, I had an option between Charon and a Palm of Power, which can increase one of the boons I got. And Charon is a shop. But I just didn't have enough money for a shop. So, since I was low on money, I decided that I might as well boost one of my boons.
And the majority of the time, the rooms that you go into are combat focused like this. You have to kill all the enemies, and then you get the reward that was on the orb prior to you entering this room.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of rooms, like that last one, where it's like an event room, where there's a character or some smaller task that you do in there, like a shop, where you speak to the NPC, where you do not actually fight anything. You can there are also like rooms of respite where you can refill your health at a fountain, and stuff like that. So not every room is going to be combat, but the majority of them are. And at the end of that combat, once all the enemies in each room are defeated, you get the item that you chose in the prior to entering.
Yep, like I just got those gems. Here I can get money, or I can get an upgrade for my boons. Personally, I'm more leaning towards an upgrade right now.
There's a few things that mainly just affect your run currently, like the pomegranates. There are some meta progression currencies that allow you to unlock stuff in different kind of progression streams. So you definitely do need to kind of balance between, do I want power now in this run, or do I want to progress my kind of overall status in the kind of larger economy outside of it?
Those purple gems I've been getting aren't helpful in the run itself, but more so just for my overall gameplay.
Yeah, and I think Nectar, for example, that one's primarily for NPC quest lines, right?
Yes. Sometimes, though, the NPCs will give you an item that really helps in your run. Right now, I'm using an item that I got from Cerberus, which is the dog for Hades.
He is a very good boy.
He is a very good boy. And what it gave me is an additional 50 health to my total health. So it increased my max by 50.
Another thing about the way the boons work is that generally each god has a kind of archetype that it feeds into. So, for example, right there, the two boons you have are what, Aphrodite and Athena?
Aphrodite and Artemis.
Artemis, sorry. So Aphrodite focuses on what I think the weakness status.
That is not what I meant to buy.
Other things. And then Athena focuses on critical rate.
Artemis.
Artemis, my bad. Yeah, they're the same A names. Artemis focuses on critical rate. And there you go. Demeter has the chill effects as well.
Which
So
she
thank you.
is a post game. You only unlock her once you beat your first run.
The game has a lot of systems and mechanics. It'll take a while to get through all of them. We don't necessarily need to explain everything, but it can just be helpful for legibility.
Yes. Know what I'm doing.
What do you know?
And it's Electo. She's not the hardest, but she's not the easiest of the three options. Options as if I have a choice.
Want me to with father next time?
So at the end of every chapter, there is a boss. I believe this is the end of chapter boss.
Yep.
At each main area in the game, you have a boss before you progress to the next area. We start in Tartarus, then we go to Asphodel, and then we reach Elysium, and then the Temple of Styx.
Yeah.
Each
And
are...
so you fight one of the three Furies here.
Yep, and each level is an increasing level in the underworld in Greek mythology for different locations. Tartarus is for the worst of the worst. Asphodel is kind of the middle ground, whereas Elysium is for the heroes and the champions.
Which, if we make it there, you will see a very funny thing this game does with that.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The characters are very charming.
Speaking of them, Dusa Best Girl. We rep Dusa.
Yes.
She's wonderful.
I am not doing great, not gonna lie.
You've taken a little damage.
It's this fun.
I'm just glad I'm not fighting Persephone. She's the difficult one.
She's crazy.
Yeah. In
Like,
more ways than one.
Right, actually crazy, and in the sense to fight. She has like no spoken dialogue. It's just like rabid growling, basically.
Chanting the same word. Murder and murderer.
Yep.
Sorry, 2 words. And that's Electo.
Goodbye, Zag.
Alright.
So leave.
Zag. I said Zag. His name is Zagreus, the main character.
Yes.
that
We
does
have
sound
had
sad.
people thirsting over Zagreus in chat already.
Do we really? Of
Yeah,
course.
no, both Bob Mitzvah and Tipothy have.
Yes.
True. Anyway.
Zagreus is a man. A very handsome lad.
Hello, red man. You
Here
want
we-
to sit down for the buy game?
Tartarus.
It is the Bible.
Yeah.
So bring any of those flags.
Yeah, I should have brought like the whole stack of flags I had.
You know,
Squeeze.
Go right ahead.
Was it something that Red did?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
And so now we're past
I
that.
think it'll look, but
The path toward the surface lies
I will
straight
say,
ahead.
I have heard some repeat lines, and the only ones I've heard that I recognized are when I have him look over the edge of these different locations.
Yeah, at the beginning of every area, pretty much, there's some little cliffside like that you can go to, and you just take a look at, you know, the art for the area in general.
Because it's a beautiful game. I've made that my wallpaper on my computer. One of the areas. Specifically, once you beat the game.
Yeah, something that Supergiant Games is known for is a very distinct visual style in their games. And the art, like, across the board in this game is insane.
Yeah. I think aesthetically and in terms of setting, Aya is and will be my favorite for a long time. Just because the setting is so interesting and unique in a lot of ways, and the different factions and world that they build up, not only in the game but also in the part of the world that you don't get to see ever, is fantastic. But Hades is pretty good too. Hades is pretty good.
I love Hermes. In Greek mythology and in this game. He's just great.
What about Futurama?
I'm not familiar with Futurama.
Somewhat
I'm
recently,
gonna say
I
faster attack.
started getting into roguelikes. I just kind of bought a whole bunch epics. And just was kind of working through them. Hades is one of them, but I haven't started it yet. I wanted to
I will say,
be more focus on it itself because I know it's more story driven.
yeah, I don't actually like roguelikes, but I like Hades. So if you too don't like roguelikes or are just not good at them, try Hades.
Yes.
No, I can. Well, I don't, but that was it. I do find it interesting. One reason I haven't mentioned about Hades is because the room variety seems like it might be a bit lacking in some cases.
It is a little repetitive once you
And-
start playing it.
The way that builds work, obviously you have the variation of weapons between runs, but one of the best thing about probably my most played roguelike, actually my second most played roguelike, which is Binding of Isaac, is the fact that your run can wildly shift to a different kind of game with a single item.
Oh, yes.
And especially with the repentance chain stuff, breaking the game has become a game in and of itself. And by breaking the game, I mean literally making the base mechanics of the game function wrong. Or at least function in a way that was definitely not intended by the original design until they realized the game was broken and then embraced that. Which is a very niche thing, and it does mean that sometimes you spend an hour like blowing yourself up in the corner of a floor to get like 3 items, but it can also be fun to manipulate. And that is one thing I really enjoy about roguelikes, is that kind of, I guess, more hardcore element, which Hades is definitely a lighter game, which is maybe more apprehensive, but also the writing seems really good.
It is. You definitely do not have to worry about anything story related in Hades.
Yeah. Also, the fact that there's a very small variance in floor aesthetics is one thing that's a little concerning to me. I just don't know if I will get bored of it eventually.
Yeah,
I found that between my friend and I, who also just recently beat the game, once you beat the game, you kind of just feel done. Which is a shame because there's a lot more to happen. I think you have to beat the game 10 times in order to get the full story. And then of course there's always side content.
Yeah.
But
And there's a system post game called Eat, which you are able to add optional increased difficulty, which counts as more like debuffs to yourself and more buffs to enemies, constitutes Eat.
and it gives you higher rewards.
Higher risk, higher reward.
Oh, also, I didn't say it at the time, but Timothy is seemingly also a very big fan of Hermes.
Yes, Hermes is just great. I'm upset because my friend can't be watching right now, but her favorite Greek god is Hermes.
They also very much appreciated the fact that the last room was just baked in explosive the entire time.
Yeah, that was painful.
Yeah, those bomb skeleton guys
Hey,
are
those
terrible.
skeleton guys right there.
Yeah. That's the game's not letting me aim at.
Kaboom indeed.
Oh, boom! Yeah, they can be really, really annoying. Especially because they drop a bomb when they die. So, right,
Even when they're gone.
even when they're gone, they're still out to get you.
Oh, but not forgotten.
I've definitely lost runs before, like, taking lethal damage or just, like, awful damage by the bomb left after I killed the enemy. Normally because you don't realize you dealt the killing blow, or just because of other enemies.
Well, the other thing that's awful about it is that, like, there are death rattle enemies in a lot of games that explode on death. These guys drop a timed explosive on death, which is horrible.
The delay on it is very low, right? It happens very soon after, but it's still a delay.
That split second is like, oh, I'm safe, and then you're not.
already found you, Zacharias.
That's how they get you.
As well. I cannot blame her, for she'd have nothing to hunt. if
So-
not for me.
I know I was just talking about Hermes, but my favorite god isn't actually Hermes, but Persephone. I'm not as fond of her in this game, but her Greek mythology is really vast and is actually pretty dark. She's kind of an intense character.
It's freezing.
It's funny, already by seeing a run that hasn't even finished, I can already kind of see what type of Hades player Allie is. Because she's focusing a lot on some of the dash and cast boons.
I love dash attacks.
Something that I do a lot is I go a lot on like the normal attack boons. Obviously, sometimes you get a boon that's just too good to pass up, but it's fun to see like the ways different people like focus their build.
I have an interesting choice here. I have the shop, but here I have Ares, who can have some pretty good boons.
Oh.
However, if you see there's a little skeleton under the orb, that means I have to do a boss fight, like a mini boss fight, in order to get the boons.
Does the rarity chance increase after that, or is it standard for any room?
I don't know.
I think the boons after a mini boss have a higher chance to be higher rarities. But in this case, I think Ares is the right decision because you also don't have that much money.
That's also what I was thinking. I don't have many boons either,
Right.
and I'm gonna need them.
Is it craft the status that Ares can do?
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
it's really good.
I was about to say, I remember early on, most people that I saw got their first win off of getting just a bunch of Ares boons in a single run.
And because Ares boons are incredible damage, there's really good damage on your dash, really good damage increases on your cast, and the debuff that he does is just delayed a lot of damage. You strike something, and then this like bolt appears above the enemy that then attacks it after you hit them. You get so much extra damage by playing Ares.
I believe cast to mark enemies for increased damage as well, which getting it to proc on your cast means that you have basically increased damage plus delayed damage stacking on each other, which you can just spam in between attacks, which is good.
Yeah, Ares, like you said, there's a reason why a lot of people like to choose Ares boons. Right, and see here, mini boss fight, you have 2 rares and an epic tier boon.
It's me or them.
I don't see myself winning this one, but it should be an interesting route.
It could happen.
Yeah, boss of this area is not easy.
No. It's not that it's necessarily difficult, it just deals a lot of damage and can be hard to dodge.
It covers a lot of area.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to spoil it for people that aren't aware, but it is.
Yeah, I have a remark to say about it once the boss is actually on screen. Yeah, boss design in this game is rather good.
I don't know from experience what's the case, but I will say it definitely seems like in terms of learning the game, the middle floors here are definitely like the hub. for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because the amount of spike from the first area is quite intense, but usually if you can beat this comfortably, you're okay in terms of teams that are pretty good.
Asphodel is a big place where unfocused builds go to
Ah,
die.
damn, the bomb got me.
Like we said, the bomb sucks. But one of the permanent upgrades that you can get in this game is, as we see, Death Defy. So you die once, but you can resurrect yourself at half health.
Can you stack that multiple times or not? I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also someone in... There's someone in Elysium who can give you a recovery for your Death Defiance. So if you use one, you can get it back from him. However, it's a matter of having the luck of, well, running into him.
Yes, Pipathy. So if you die and you don't have any Death Defies or other lives like that, you will be reset back to the start.
Yes.
I believe you keep any of the meta progression currency that you've collected up to that point.
Yes, like those purple gems I've been collecting and those keys, gems like that, I keep those because those are used outside of this run.
Yeah. And so you can upgrade your character and your weapons and a few other things, I think. Can you upgrade the weapons?
Don't know.
You can unlock more weapons.
Yes, I have unlocked at least all of the base ones. I don't know if there's any more.
There are variants that I think are timed quests, if I'm not mistaken.
There are.
Wait, once again, I believe you said was that before. What did you comment you want to make about the bone hunter?
Well, we haven't quite seen it yet, but
Should be soon.
yes.
If you know what Hydras are, you should be
Alright.
worried.
This fight turns into a bit of a bullet hell.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Which is part of why I like the dash attacks, because especially this one, you're doing a lot of dashes to dodge. So if you can just get the dashes to hurt them, it's not only are you avoiding getting hurt, but you're still attacking. You're not, like, having to let go of that damage input in order to save yourself.
Hey, like we all know though, at least when you kill the heads, they stay down, right?
I will say, at least I got the thing that gives me food.
Yeah, that was a really good purchase from the shop.
Yeah, no, this boss is one of those things where if your build hasn't kind of come together with a bit of an identity and you come up to it, you're just like, okay, I gotta survive this one.
Yeah, you can absolutely kill your way through this boss with a relatively bad build, but Asphodel is a very tough area to get through if you don't have at least a decent setup going.
This game, you very much can just skill your way through. There's very few times that things layer over each other in a way you can't in some way engage with or deal with. But that doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah, and so this boss naturally, several phases, split between attacking the Hydra itself and then attacking the additional heads that spawn, and you cannot damage the main head while they're still alive.
And even then, sometimes the multiple heads get some shields.
Second health bar, my favorite.
I will say, in some ways, I actually do like the second health bar as a display method, rather than just having a double ring health bar. Because that
Yeah.
would make it feel like you're doing puny chip damage, and it would just feel like garbage to attack them. Instead of, oh my god, I'm halfway there. It would just be, oh my god, they're still only halfway there.
Right.
Yeah, it does help with the morale. Also, the yellow is harder to break than their actual health. And there are boons that actually help with breaking that shield. I forget who in particular had that, but I do know that there are some gods that have that. I wouldn't be shocked if Athena is one of them, because she deals a lot with defense. That's her main one.
Athena's dash is incredible.
It is. It's not my favorite, but it is really good. I've become kind of an offense is the best defense player in many things.
That is a very risk of rain mindset.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
You need to kill things, and then you need to be fast, and then you can worry about some defensive items.
I
And-
really love the fact, though, that in Risk of Rain 2, you can literally get to the point where you AFK.
I
Yeah.
just won this with 2
With 2
health
HP.
left on this one.
boy!
Don't walk into the lava.
Yeah, because after you get a boss fight, there is a room like this, where you get a little bit of health recharge.
We'll have you back here.
I will
You get a
say,
shop.
I was terrified when the boss died because it went into the black screen something died thing.
Yeah.
And I, was
I
like,
thought I
did
died.
you die? Like, they were about to get hit by something there.
Yeah, I narrowly got that. It'd be great if I ran into the guy whose name is unknown to me, but I'm pretty sure I know who he is. But it'd be good if I ran into him to get the extra Death Defiance back.
Pleasant temperature.
I have my theories on who it is if anyone's interested and doesn't want any kind of potential spoiler. I think it's Patroclus. Because he's discussing having been left, and you also have Achilles in the game as a prominent figure.
Achilles is really big.
Yes.
And a wonderful friend to Zagreus.
Horrible in Greek mythology, but good in this game. Alright.
There are a lot of side characters, quote-unquote side characters in this game, like Achilles, who are really nice. You have quest lines that you can progress with, all of them, and they appear in the hub area quite frequently.
Do all of them appear in the hub area? Or
Not
do
all of them.
Only appear in Rome.
And
all of
sometimes they don't appear in the hub.
Oh.
Yeah.
So as you see, I killed that guy and it became that thing. If I leave it be and it makes it to one of the floating weapons, then it can revive itself.
Gods grant me strength. Strongest
Oh yeah,
day.
how do you explain what calls are? Because I don't think we've gotten to that actually.
I don't know how to explain that one.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, they are effectively super slash special attacks that charge up over time with damage. I don't remember the exact method. And I believe this one grants you invulnerability and that turns into a big spinning axe that does a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Call is simply like an ultimate or a super special in another game.
Yeah.
The golden bar that's slowly refilling at the very bottom left of the screen underneath Ellie's health.
I believe that
measures-
is mostly covered up by the HUD for the stream right now, the stream clock. But trust us, there's a golden bar down there that when it's full.
It's divided into, what, 4 sections?
Quarters, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only need one of them to call. Like that.
Yeah, and when you have more than one, you can, you know, do it more than once.
Are there any abilities that require more than 1 second of the bar, or is it just multiple?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. I couldn't remember. It's been a long time since I watched this stuff.
It's more so that if you just let it build for a while, you can just spam it if you don't feel like you want to use it yet.
Which is decent for boss fights.
Yes.
That's how I end up using my calls. 'Cause that's something I don't tend to focus on very much. If there's a really, really good call boon upgrade, then I'll take it. But that's something that I don't like to focus on because the charging of it is kind of slow.
What do we have?
Pipity just said using my imagination for the gold bar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just get a
So-
pen and paper out and manually keep track of it by hand. You totally know how this game works. It's fine.
So I wasn't gonna pick this, but it's actually a good thing to note. This one, you might be able to tell there's 2 different symbols on it. Those are the symbols for Aphrodite and Artemis. I go in here, and I have to make a decision.
Choice to make.
Personally, I find... For this, I find Aphrodite's a bit easier for me to manage. So I'm gonna choose Artemis, and you'll see what happens.
Bless you, Zagreus.
For this, I'll do that. And I just pissed her off.
Oh, but this is such a heartbreak, dearest. Why would you do that? You know that I won't take this lying down.
Oh, hey, Colin's in chat.
And now I have a boss fight, but there's going to be a heart that's chasing after me that I have to avoid. Each god has a different thing for this. I just find that avoiding the hard is easier.
Yeah. Well, especially since you have such a movement focus build.
Yes.
These double boon rooms, you begin right by choosing the one boon of your own, and then unfortunately you make the other god angry that you didn't choose them, and have to complete
As Greek mythology goes.
yeah, right?
A lot of jealousy.
They easily get jealous. So you have to deal with all the random shit that they throw at you.
Random bullshit, go.
Yeah, they just kind of throw up a bunch, and then you complete the trial.
Nearly got me.
And you get the other one as
and
well.
you're able to get these.
So you get 2 boons, but it's a mini boss fight.
Squabble can be put to bed for now. I'm better for the moment, but I was very angry with you, love.
And just a reminder about the current donation incentives. If you pay $5, you will get to pick the next boon when that comes up. And if you pay 10, you can select the weapon that Ali will be using for the next run. If you don't know the weapons, we can obviously go over that when it comes to.
Yeah. My personal favorite is the spear, which I am currently using, and will probably only use unless someone donates. So if you want to see me not use the spear,
Don't touch the dragon. You call this the buy game. Why did you do that?
I did. It was other people that did, but the reason why is because people tend to find the NPCs and Zagreus very attractive.
there's actually another reason. The main character is bi. You can choose dating options, and there are different gender options for who you date. So there is a lot of canonically bi stuff in this game, which is not shocking considering Greek mythology.
Bro. Greek mythology is pretty good.
It is.
And it's also very horny, so it checks out. Well, at times.
At times.
Yeah, I love getting like crushed by a giant. It really does it for me. I'm gonna go out, slay a minotaur.
Alright, so Daedalus Hounds, what do they do?
They do random stuff for the most part. It's not random necessarily, but it's a mixed bag. It's mainly weapon improvements, though. Because Daedalus is the workshop mechanic. So therefore, you're figuring out ways to increase just your weapon.
A big thing that Daedalus hammers affect, they change how some of your mechanics work. Like they change what your cast or your main weapon do. They can change the special move on your weapon to an alternate special, or they can give you more damage at the cost of not being able to use a special. For instance. So, or the charged attack. So they're a very mixed bag, and sometimes they're really great, and other times they're just not a very good option that you might want to pick. Aegis, the shield weapon, has some particularly fun Daedalus hammer options.
These cards scare me.
They're awful.
Nope.
What is he doing? He's just
Helping me.
He's just decided to stop.
I'm fine with that.
I'm right. You'll
I
take
hate
it.
that guy. So,
He really did just decide to stand there.
I have a lot of, Demeter. Oh. I have a lot of Demeter. Oh, he said the same thing. Me too, Zacharias.
Oh, I thought another thing about rubberizing this game. Not only are there unique Daedalus Hound variants for each weapon, I believe there are certain subsets of weapons, or at least they have certain unique interactions with them.
Correct.
Which, yeah, no, if you're getting bored of the game, you can definitely just try an entirely new weapon type, and the combat will flow completely different.
Yeah, the weapons are very
For
diverse.
example, the shield has I believe, a dash move,
I need more
a
keys.
projectile, and
I'm not gonna
then
win this. I'm gonna get more
a
keys.
large AoE swipe that does knockback. Or at least can.
Like, Aegis is really fun to use.
Yeah.
Also, unfortunately, Ellie had to use another of her death defies. If you take a look above her health bar in the bottom left of the screen, that singular circle, one circle out of 3 totals, that's how many death defies, or how many lives she had. She has 2 death defies, and used those, and that was on her last life.
At this point, I am no longer focusing on trying to beat this run, but collecting stuff that can help me outside of the run, because I know that this run's pretty much dead. So I chose a harder room, but only because it'll give me something that I kind of need right now, which are the keys.
Timothy said, I rate Flurry as furry and thought you got an animal companion, and then this. Unfortunately, I don't think there are any familiar companions in the game.
No, I mean, there's Cerberus, but he doesn't really stay with you. I wish I could show you him, but I'm not going to get to him in this run. Maybe he'll be in the main hall.
That would be very fun if you could bring Cerberus out for a chair.
A good boy walk.
Against some enemies, but...
And that guy just revived, because I didn't see him.
You'll love to see it.
Elysium can be a particularly annoying area to manage because of those respawning enemies.
Alright. And I think that's guys' last one. I'm done with this room. Yep. Which I need those keys.
The Chthonic Keys.
Oh, what do those do again?
This increases my max health by 25, but I'm not restoring any of my current
I
health.
was talking about the keys.
Oh, the keys? They can be used to unlock weapons, and currently I'm trying to use them to unlock things for my mirror, which will give me different abilities, and it's what got me the Death Defiances. There's a few more that I can unlock, but I have gotten all of the ones that are available to me, and in order to increase that, I need a lot of keys.
The way the permanent upgrades in this game work are the purple liquid that you've been collecting sometimes called Darkness can be spent at this mirror in Dagger's bedroom. And they range from some abilities like giving you another life to simply increasing the amount of casts you have or the amount of max health. And there are only a few that are available at the start, and further ones that you're able to put your darkness into have to be unlocked with those keys that she's collecting, the Chthonic Keys. And naturally, the better ones come at the end and are worth more. You need more keys to unlock them.
I don't even know what's available after it, because I can't see it.
Colin said in chat, not sure what qualifies a run as dead in this, but there's nothing better than pulling a dead run out of the gutter in any game like this. From what I gather, I believe Allie means that she thinks there's a skill issue on her part.
I don't think I had the good boon selection that would have gotten me through. And I'm also a little rusty because I haven't played since I was practicing and getting some stuff available last week. Maybe longer.
The boon selection in Allie's run so far is decent. Like, she has decent damage on enemies. It's a little low, at least for the normal attacks, but it's still very workable. It's mostly the Death Defiances that are unfortunate right now, because she essentially is on her last life out of 3. And those are things that she's essentially just not going to be able to get back.
Yeah, getting HP back in this game is very much a slow drip feed, other than when you complete a floor where there's kind of minor reset. And there were a few parts, especially in the middle of the run, where there were rooms that just chipped really, really hard down due to some challenging enemy placements and other such things.
I'm also not the most comfortable with the boons I've gotten. I haven't gotten my favorited gods, which would be Zeus, namely.
All the lane stuff is similar.
I'm not fond of Artemis, and I've gotten quite a bit of Artemis, and I'm not the biggest fan of Aphrodite either.
I'm gonna do a boon of both of them.
I do like Ares. so that was pretty nice.
You
Like
know-
him or not, you'll take him for the damage.
Yeah, I hate Zeus as a character, but you know, he's got a good
His
boon.
stuff is good. You take
Poseidon's also pretty good.
I was about to say, I think, especially for spear being your favorite weapon, and I think Zeus has some AoE stuff that he adds, that
Yeah.
makes sense that the single target weapon combos well with the AoE extra damage.
Yeah, Zeus is really able to help you deal with hordes of enemies much easier because like all of his stuff adds chain lightning, which is probably expected if you didn't already know.
I am shocked. It's not really gonna matter at this point. This would have been nice earlier. That's really good for crowd control.
Yeah, see, there you go. It's just like having chain lightning.
Yay!
Yeah, at the last Daedalus hammer, like back in Asphodel or whatever, that would have been really nice to have.
Yes. So I think at this point the best I can do is go to Charon and hope for something that'll help me outside of this run, because this run is not continuing. And I think that is the boss. Yes, it is. I've gotten far. You'll get to see the boss.
Will help.
None of these are helpful.
Oh, upgrade stuff?
Upgrade or get Aphrodite? I think upgrade.
I'm just thinking of that one scene from Robots now.
What?
The ad that's being done by the... I'm trying to remember what his name is. There's this big ad where he's like, upgrades, upgrades!
He has such a way with words.
Yeah.
I found out recently that you can have a boss fight with him.
Oh yes.
That was
You
scary.
can make him really angry.
He's worse than Hades. These two are fun. I hate Theseus, but the Minotaur is just great.
That's cool, both of them. Or, active question. There's some debate.
So these guys aren't the hardest in terms of what they do, but it's more so just there's two of them, and they deal a lot of damage. So if you mess up somewhere, you could just be done.
And I'm pretty sure they got a little bit of that one team in snow energy as well, in terms of what happens when one of them goes down, if I'm not wrong.
I typically just go for focusing on the Minotaur because he doesn't really do much when he's low in health, whereas Theseus, once he gets low, he'll get the power of one of the gods to help him. And at that point, the whole battlefield is pretty much unmanageable.
Unfortunately for us, Theseus is also a demigod, and is able to call on his own buffs, boons from the gods.
Yes.
His
And
second
then-
phase just
Yes. And then, of course, there's also the Minotaur just having these really brunt attacks. But I do like the...
the AoE on the Minotaur is absolutely ridiculous.
I will say, I do like that you have someone who's close range and someone who's far range. Especially since, again, Theseus can be a bit easier to dodge at this stage. As I die. But the Minotaur is more in your face. So I just find it easier to knock him out first.
Now the question is, do we see the good dog?
We shall see. I will go around and talk, because that is a big part of this game. I think that's where I died last time.
Well, tell me what you want on the game a little bit.
Autograph for me before you got destroyed.
Sorry,
Good boy.
no.
I'll give him a gift.
Good boy.
Each savage maw of Cerberus salivates in anticipation of the next time to feed.
Very good boy.
Back soon, boy. Only the very best treats for my best friend, right, boy?
Cerberus yelps in merriment upon receiving
Good.
such a generous offering.
My record records indicate that you've collected earnings based on some of your accomplishments there, boy. I suppose you need an income of your own.
Oh, we
Haven't
haven't
decided to
covered
cut
the plot of
ties
this
and all.
game.
Nope.
So Zacharias is trying to escape the underworld and meet with his mother, Persephone.
What, you mean the bounties
Hades,
that you
on the
brought
other
up
hand,
to
is
keep
trying
on
to
beating
stop
May and
him.
all your other guardians out there?
And
Don't you think
throughout
it
the
puts a lot
game,
of
you're trying to
bounty
figure out
pressure on them
why
and
Hades
turn
is
them into
trying
targets?
to stop your efforts and why Persephone
They must do better
left.
than they have, else they shall be replaced.
I will say,
If they're
I
to
do
grow
like
in their
how
respective
the
roles,
icon on the
they have
coins
to
and
know
stuff
all
is the same as his
pieces.
beard.
And so
Yeah.
do I. That you collect the bounties for it matters not.
What about the bounties for vanquishing you? Who's
Got
your
him.
replacement going to be?
Yeah.
He's so sassy.
Enough.
Oh,
Get out.
Slams desk angrily. Get out.
so true. Alright. Great Hall Lounge. I've not done much with this because I've been saving up for different things.
Yeah, this is a way for you to be able to unlock certain things in the hub world, the House of Hades.
Oh.
You can unlock access to some different rooms,
Morpheus, you know
some
about
other
the time I
shops.
vanquished 7 legions of bloodless
They're really,
warriors with both hands tied
new
behind my back while
NPCs.
hopping on one foot?
They're really good things
Besides
to be able to
David.
get.
Why, that is a spectacularly vivid tale, Zacharias.
I love
and most
the
deserving
plot
to
going
be
on with
chronicled in song.
Orpheus,
Would that there were a poet
and
here
Eurydice,
so willing to commit such
who
deeds to
is
verse.
another NPC you can meet in Asphodel. Each
What's the
level
title
has
of
a
it?
certain NPC you can run into. Forget who's in the first. Who's in
I have to
Tartarus?
ask you something, Nix. What is this debt you owe my father anyway?
Yes, Sisyphus.
Forgive my
Yes.
eavesdropping, it's just I heard the two of you
Sisyphus,
discussing things
then
and
it's
it came up.
Eurydice, and then it's, I'm guessing, Patroclus.
I was here long before your father. The responsibility to govern
I remember
fell to
back
me.
when Nyx was
Yet I could not manage
the
on my
same,
own. I shaped the darkness.
had the same like
ensured
character art
integrity of the
as
domain.
Charon.
I am less prone to census taking. and
Yeah, way back in
administering
the
wars.
early access days of
I
this
was
game,
seated from such
they both had
responsibilities.
this like
It was too much even for
really
you.
drab like
So,
purple hood
when
over their
father
head,
arrived, you
and
welcomed
like
him?
the lower part of their mouth was visible, and that was
I was
it.
quite skeptical
And
of
then the
him
later
at
update, they
first.
like actually
I thought his
gave them
presence merely a
unique
cruel
character
trick of
models
fate.
and art.
But he worked
I love
diligently
Nyx's
from the
design so
start.
much.
Soon
Mhm.
there was
I love
order where
that
once there
some
was
of her
none.
hair is just flowing.
I fashioned this house for him, and
Yeah,
I
with
maintain
the starry
it still.
sky.
We remain in partnership, in interdependency.
He's
Nyx
never
is very
taken
good to
advantage of you,
Zagreus.
of
Yes.
your generosity.
No, child, he has not. He can be short with me, as you have seen,
Pipothy thinks
but that
Nyx
is
is
the
very
extent
pretty.
of it.
She is.
We have found ways to reconcile disagreements.
Again, this is the buy game.
Your relationship, it is more complicated than my own, I feel.
Oh, and you can see the weird purple gem currency thing. That was the
I'm sure we
necklace
can
that she had.
reconcile our
Yep.
disagreements all the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, that is darkness, and that is the primary currency that you use when upgrading yourself as you complete runs.
I like how you can just straight up dash through
Well,
the
look
wall.
at you, lad.
Yeah.
That code is complete with our history. I knew I could rely on you to fill it out. Back when I was alive, why, no one would have ever believed what goes on down here.
Mortals must have had their stories, though, about what happens to them once they die and once they end up in this place.
But they had their stories, definitely so. They fear your father, understandably. They also fear your dog. But most of them know precious little else. Even their fears, I think, are born of ignorance, as most fears tend to be.
Just because we are in downtime right now, and Ali hasn't quite started the next run, if you want to donate right now, if we make it to $2,100 in cumulative donations, you will be able to select the weapon that Ali is using for her next run.
Yeah, which would be this coming run. Right now, kind of. Okay.
And we have, I think, a bit over an hour left in the block, because I think we're going till... Oh, wait.
Are we going
Yes.
to?
We're going till 2, yes. So we probably have enough time for one more run.
Depending on how it goes.
Depending on how it goes, you might die instantly.
So as you see, I need 20 keys to unlock more, and I currently have 11, as you can see at the bottom right side. So I'm not quite able to unlock that.
Thank you very much, Pipathy. They said stealing money from the bank right now.
Good. So these are the weapon selections. There's a gun.
Yep. The gun is really good. The gun is very strong.
There's gauntlets.
I think the gauntlet's one of my favorite if I remember correctly.
Not big on the bow, but there's the bow.
The bow is probably one of the harder weapons. Just in the sense that there's a constant timing challenge for its main source of damage.
This is the Captain America weapon. And the spear was what I was playing with. And then there's the base sword.
The basic 3-hit combo on the sword is very simple. This one.
It is.
Should take my spear.
And also, just all of the weapons in the game are absolutely viable, and they're really good.
Alright, I'm gonna start another run.
Yeah, so that screen that just came up, that Pact of Punishment, it's how you access the post-game higher heat levels. You can, there are a lot of sliders there where you can give yourself, you can increase the debuffs to yourself for the buffs that enemies are getting.
And here's Athena.
Please do the dash. Give us a dash.
It is weird
I will
that
not be
character
using the
portraits
dash.
blink.
Yeah. I'm not big on the dash. And I'm gonna try and hold out for a different dash.
Interesting. Oh yeah, you get locked into your slot that you pick, right?
In what sense?
In the sense that I don't remember if you can get multiple different attacks with dashes and stack them all to each other.
Yeah, they don't stack.
Yeah. So you do need to be a little careful in terms of what you're picking to go in each slot, because you can only have one cast, one call.
You
one
can
dash.
you can always replace it, but if you replace it, then you're essentially not gaining a boon.
Yeah, and also if you invest levels, do they transfer over?
I don't know.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. So there are cases in which you'll want to do that, but yeah, it does fill a slot. So
Where
picking
is
something
it?
that you want to get rid of is generally not ideal, but once again, you never know if you will get what you want. So
Exactly. So it is a big risk, but that was also the first boon, so I'm holding out a little hope.
there are also good boons that are passives that you can stack as many as you want.
Which is how the majority of them are. The majority of boons do not overwrite one another.
Yes.
I'll run you through.
The dash, on the other hand, you can only have one. Unless it's Hermes' extra dash, or the things where you can dash right before getting attacked. Or right after, and still have a chance to make up for it. I'm gonna go for health. So chat, who's your favorite character in Greek mythology? Oop, I was standing on that.
Stood directly on the spike trap.
Job.
That was very smart. It was all part of my plan. Mastermind.
The first stage is too easy, okay? And you recover all the health by the second one, so really it's just a, ooh, what's that thing that just appeared in the top?
Alright, I'll do it.
Chaos!
It is the beginning.
Speaking of getting rid of health.
Yeah.
That's
it
the
costs
first
health.
one we've seen, right?
Yes.
No. I have just not gone in any.
Well, first one we've been in. How would you explain a little bit of what's going on here?
So this is Chaos. He predates all the other gods in this game. He'll show up occasionally with the little symbol on the floor in some rooms.
I do not know how to respond to
But
exactly Master Chaos.
in order to access the room, you have to lose health.
Aiding me in my attempts to flee my father's
But
realm.
they do give some real good benefits. Usually it's, you do a set of rooms, and after you complete that set of rooms with a, harder difficulty, you get something in response. Like, for the next 3 encounters, I have less movement speed, but for the rest of the game, I'll find more money.
Now, that bottom one is interesting.
So dash strike isn't your dash attack if I had a boon on my dash. That is if I dash and then hit with my main.
Tend to do a lot.
Yes.
So getting a 54% damage boost on a very common attack is pretty good. That's pretty good.
And it's not the hardest. It's not the hardest barrier. I just can't use my special.
Especially compared to the move speed debuffs that you have up there.
Yeah. My other option is to gain health, in my opinion, but I feel like the dash strike would be more helpful in the long run.
Flayed
Offense is
Lunge
the best defense.
It is definitely the best boon of the 3. Like, the best effect out of all of them.
Alright, and I just cannot use, or should I try to avoid using, my special.
Yes.
Yeah, Chaos boons, because they have that debuff for a set duration, they are coincident, or because of that, they are more powerful than the average boon.
I will say that would have been a nice area to have used my special, but, you know. Ah, boss. Alright. It just wants to make it difficult.
Also, Pipathy does not seem to be able to decide on their favorite character from Greek mythology.
That's fair, there's a lot.
Literally, their response was, oh, there's so many characters.
Yeah.
And of course, we have the Summoner Ball.
Oh, after some deliberation, Persephone and Nike.
That is fair. Persephone is my personal favorite, so I definitely agree with that choice. And Nike's interesting because it's not one you hear often. She tends to be under-recognized. And often when people hear Nike, they think of the shoe brand.
Yes. Also, Hello Crossroad, welcome to Shadowgate, I believe. I don't think it says it's first time Shadowbound, so... big, but...
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
Indeed, we are playing Hades, and we will be playing Hades for just about the next hour, maybe a little less.
Next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna choose the Thunder Dash. I really like this one. Alright. That is my only option. I will go with it. Alright, this is an interesting one. This isn't kill all the enemies, but survive for less than a minute.
Whoops.
You technically could kill none of the enemies.
Yes.
But you're gonna probably want to avoid taking the damage that would result from that.
Indeed.
I'm-
Crosstalk chimed in with their favorite Greek mythology character, which is Thanatos.
That is also interesting.
I will say, I don't know much about, like, mainline Greek mythology, but I do love Thanatos and Kid Icarus Upright.
Of course you do.
He's just a goofy guy. He's just having a little bit of fun, okay?
Fair enough. I will also agree to that.
He, like, turns himself into funny things.
He turns himself into beef.
He turns himself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen.
Keys.
No boons. Bad.
No boons?
No boons?
Boonless?
Some very boonless behavior. Dagger's part.
I could also go for some health.
That'd be fine.
No help.
Honestly, I feel like my boons are good for the moment. Like, I can get away with what I have, but my health is a little lackluster.
Good luck with watering the plants.
You could really go for a shop right now.
My boon from Master
Yeah.
Oh, look, health!
Or that.
Bless you.
I love it when I
Now,
have HD.
have I gotten past the chaos section?
I believe so.
Nope. Okay.
Really?
I think there's 4 rooms.
Oh, it's 3, my bad.
That's fine.
Mr. Up Friday, good job.
We do a little trolling.
You partake in a mild amount of tomfoolery.
Mayhaps.
Perchance.
Oh. I love that, have you guys seen that essay that Phil Jameson did about, like, was it philosophy? It was a philosophy 101 paper. That, it was not real, but it was a good meme. And it was called something like, Mario the Man versus the Myth.
Oh my god, yes!
I don't think I'm familiar with this.
That's one he used. I just, whenever I hear perchance, I remember that, because he refers to that as the perchance essay. It's also really funny, because I didn't know that came from him originally, because I've been following his sketch stuff for a while, and I just saw it on Twitter one day, and I was like, oh, that's funny, and then he made a video talking about people asking for him to do another one, and how he doesn't want to do another one, because that was the joke. What do you mean do a sequel to a joke? That was the joke.
Right. You can't just say perchance.
Yeah.
I love that essay so much.
It is very good.
It's perfect.
It is flawless. It is a masterpiece.
So, Chaos' thing did end.
Delicious.
What'll this give me? Not worth it. Oh, fish.
Fishing time?
I'm not great at fishing.
This game does have a fishing minigame.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Alright.
That little?
I have money. For once. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna start with food.
Much better.
Oh, yes! I think this is just... I think that's a good call.
Yeah, the knockback increase from Hades or Poseidon booms is very significant.
Yeah.
I was about to say, does knocking an enemy into a wall deal extra damage to them? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You get... The only thing that I remember
Time for Tisiphone, maybe?
that you gain extra damage for in that sense. Oh no!
Okay.
So we got the second most difficult Fury last time, Electo, and now we have the worst one.
Can I get Meg?
Bring Meg back, please.
I was doing so well.
Hello, Alec. Welcome back to the chat. And Colin is confused as to why there's McDonald's in the movie.
I guess it fell down there.
It feels self-explanatory.
There's a section where
actually,
Athena would have been helpful.
I just believe we got a donation from the Purple Goblin. Alex here on my lunch break. I elect Zach to choose the next boon and weapon. Sadly, I don't think we're going to be able to do another run here, but you can...
We can carry it over to the next event if I can't do another run.
Yeah.
My knowledge of this game isn't bad enough for me. It would make it
Which would make it funny.
Exactly. So, next time a boon menu comes up, pick one.
Okay.
We'll tell you what your options are.
I should have pulled the Hades weapon thing off. I'm just going to do that right now. And yes, we will roll that donation into an incentive for the next game. Alec, thank you very much for the $29.01.
Nice. And can we disable the weapon one after that? Because if I do have another, that will be the last.
Weapon one is already gone.
Thank you.
Currently, I mean, it's 1:15. We still have half an hour. And
Yeah.
You do have all of your death defies right now, but there's...
I could mess up horribly.
Yeah.
So, I might use it, might not. But if I don't, we can surely put it towards the next.
Great, next boon I choose.
Oh, that's quite funny.
We have to get to...
Alex said, in response to what we're talking about with Zach, he has no qualms with trolling anyone.
So true.
We could even even in exchange for not being able to do a weapon, we could also, like, 2 boons? 3 boons? 2 boons?
Maybe.
3 is probably a little much.
3 is probably a little much. And I guess one thing that's worth noting, we have crossed the $2,100 mark with all of our donations so far.
Nice!
We are only about $400 or so away from us hitting the goal of Parain cutting a bunch of his hair off.
I really want to cut my brother's hair off.
Wait!
It's gonna be so
Wait, that's the thing.
Yup, in $400, we get to lop off Parain's hair.
I
we
think-
will make a video of that.
I think he did tell me that he wants me to do it if it comes to that.
Is it happening on stream or is it
Which is
just-
understandable. I think my mom would be more upset if we didn't. But that's okay. Still cutting off his hair if we get to it.
Alec, unfortunately, no. The hair is probably going to be donated not to your secret cloning laboratory.
Well, even then, you would need the root of the hair.
Alec probably
Because
wants
that's-
to make a wig out of it.
So, we could just get a piece of hair with root on it and send that to you.
Yes, actually, I think there was one that was offered to me the other day. That I
Exactly.
unfortunately did throw away.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
I don't think that. Oh yeah, that's right. That was a thing.
It may cross some legality issues, but
Are we cloning Parain? Not right now. That is a later donation goal, I think.
he's not even in the room, and we're just discussing cloning him.
But he doesn't need to have a say. He sleeps occasionally.
And like, he doesn't need to have a say because then the clone can have a say for him.
Alright, so, Zach, you do have a choice of boons. We have the first one.
I will actually give you first selection on if you will have me go to Athena or Hermes.
And
We'll do Hermes.
you also have a choice of chaos.
Oh yes.
There is a choice
He
of
is
chaos.
tucked in the
Chaos,
corner.
chaos, chaos, chaos.
Goodbye, health.
I had a feeling.
Allie's just trying to, like, push that one off to the corner. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at all.
There's
And
no
I'm
such
like,
thing
I'm
as
not
chaos.
letting you get away with that. Nope.
Alright.
Does he also get to pick
Yes.
which specific boon? So you get to read all of, like, just these descriptions and pick which one you like.
While you're reading them, Alex did say, "Hey, for $400, that's a steal. Finally, someone who can do all my art assets. ... for an internship, or in other words, free."
So the first one, she can't use her, like, projectile, and her basic attack will deal more damage. The second one, she will take a lot more damage from traps, and
Actually,
her
Do the first
projectile.
one.
You can use the projectile. You just can't reclaim it for a period.
That's true.
Alright, first one.
First one?
Attack damage is going to be really helpful, I think, for you. So.
Alright, I'm fine with this one.
That is actually, like, that is the best choice. That's the one that I would have done if I was.
I would have done that or the last. Probably would have ended up with this one.
I think Zach wants people to have fun.
I would not have chosen chaos though, so I was led astray.
Exactly. Zach enjoyed fun.
I always choose chaos. If there's a chaos and it won't kill me, I choose chaos. The boons are too strong.
They're also general, usually, which means they apply to more than just a single applique of kit.
Right, a boost to your cast damage will affect, right, the entire thing. Same with your normal attacks. Even if you get, like, a hammer to change the way that your normal attack functions.
You
still be
almost
boosted.
dashed into that bomb. You almost dashed right into that alley. Oh my god.
I would love to say I know what I'm doing, but
My
Anyway.
heart, like, sunk for a second when that happened. I'm gonna be honest.
oh,
She would have been fine, but it would have been a nice chunk of health.
Well, that's what I mean. It was
Right.
just like, oh no. Not this.
not again.
Not again.
They keep doing this. I'm gonna get the random. Oh,
Dude
it's
says
Demeter.
spamming buttons is a good strategy, TBH.
My message comes to you
Uh,
by riverbank,
to an extent.
young
Until you die, yes.
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
At least that Charon is amenable to our attempts to contact you.
Ooh. Rare Crop is a very fun meta boon. One of your boons gets randomly chosen. Its rarity is reset to common, but then it upgrades up to the max, and you have no choice. You have no choice.
So it
over
could be
what-
one that's already leveled, but I think I only have one that's leveled up, and it's level 2.
The levels should.
It's the rarity that's going to increase, which I think is
Mm.
the strength of the ability itself.
Well, it'll turn into a different boon.
Oh, really?
Because the rare it should. Because I don't think there are multiple.
I think I'm gonna leave it because I like what I've got set up.
A different boon, like the rarity of a boon, does not determine how much, like, what its effect is.
I thought
the
that-
rarity is the pool of, like, what the...
I thought there was like a stacking thing to it, maybe. I can't remember what the thing is. But
The
generally,
like the-
higher rarity ones are better.
And the stacking is the pomegranates, the
That was it. No, that was it.
Yeah, they're two separate. The rarity of the boons.
Let me look this
of
up.
The
I'm
pools
curious.
that they pull from.
Somebody lose a spine out there.
Oh. I was not ready. I was reading. I don't know if I'm past the chaos thing. I don't think I am. I hope I'm
This
done
one might
with...
be the last floor.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hope I'm done with it by the time I get to the boss, because I'm gonna need my cast. Oh, it's just that I can't retrieve it, right? For a while?
Yes. Every time you collect, you get the debuff.
Okay, so I think I can manage that. It's not ideal, but I did just get a really good cast, so... And it would help me a lot with the Bone Hydra. Alright, this should be the boss.
Check the timer.
No, so there are actually different rarity variants of single boons, but there are also unique heroic boons, which I believe you need to use an ambrosia on a thing to get them, it looks like. And they also might have extra effects, is the thing, but I think that's it. I don't think the rarities, at least for the base tier,
Nope,
common,
not the boss.
rare, legendary, I don't think those are necessarily for pools. It also said that the formula for how much a level versus a rarity level increase is known. No one knows exactly what the difference between the two is in terms of pure numbers, but they make the number go up.
In both cases, they do. Number go up.
So yeah, no, picking that one would have actually been really good, because the only thing you have that's not base rarity right now is your dash.
It's okay. I got a good cast. I think I got a really good cast.
Yeah.
Which I'm not using at the moment because I still have the chaos thing, I think.
You can still talk.
Yeah. I'm also done.
Yeah, it's done.
I'm going to get health. I'm gonna farm health.
Yeah, you're free to use the cast now. The timer is done.
That's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
the only
the
thing
boss
that's
is
gonna happen
right
I
after
think, is,
this. Let's go. And I love
Indeed, it
to
is time
tap
for
on it.
murder.
Alright. My friend just beat this boss, with taking no damage.
Yeah, damage to Bone Hydra does not happen that often. Yeah, the beam turret cast is incredibly strong.
Yes.
As you can see, it just places a turret down right on your location that lasts for a while, and it auto-targets enemies.
Does it ever get mucked up by invincibility shields, or is it pretty good with that?
Say that again?
Does it ever get mucked up in terms of the aggro by invincibility shields, or is it pretty good at that?
It's pretty good with it.
I'd be very concerned if it wasn't. That honestly could kind of make it garbage at certain boss fights.
I love my cats targeting the impervious main head.
You have a lot more damage than
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also getting boons that I like.
And her cat is a major part of that.
Oh yeah.
The turret damage is ridiculously high.
I might actually skip a phase than I usually do.
It's called passive income, baby.
Ah, damn. I was not paying enough attention.
Alright, I think by the point of the last round, you know what you do.
Yeah. You had one remaining, which you went into Elysium.
Hey.
Hydra vanquished.
Until you reconstitute again.
And maybe I'll run into the unknown person who can give me back a Death Defiance.
I trust you had a pleasant
I did have a
stay.
pleasant stay in Asphodel, thank you. What else was there?
I will say, I also do think Asphodel as an area is the hardest on the eyes. Because it's so red.
Yeah, and there's red everywhere. There's red floor, red lava, red enemies.
You're just seeing red.
Yeah, there he is. All it's missing is red in the game.
The fields of Elysium.
I'll play it at some point.
Yeah. God. Okay. Oh, yay. I didn't miss you.
Mortarians. Wait until they get bombed.
Something you probably noticed if you've been paying attention is that this game has a lot of signposting where enemies' attacks are with kind of AoE indicators and reticles, which very helpful given how much there is in terms of I guess AoE attacks and stuff like that. They generally tend to telegraph things relatively clearly, not with enemies, but with individual indicators. There are exceptions to that, obviously, but it is quite helpful.
That knockback was so good, it got it into the trap. Thank you, Poseidon.
Mind you, it does make you chasing those guys down a little bit
For
harder.
a little maintenance.
What did you pick up?
A
attack
Daedalus. Yeah. My spin attack charges faster now.
Oh, that. It's extra AoE stuff.
I hate these guys.
They're really dang.
Yeah, and they send butterflies out to kill you.
Oh, the butterflies, yes.
So I like to try and... Oh, fishing spot. I like to try and get rid of them as quickly as possible. Because you're not hard if you just continue to attack them, because then they don't get an opportunity. But if you just ignore them, then it gets really bad.
Good enough to eat.
No! I mean, that's not awful, but that's not what I was going for.
It is more primary attack damage, I think.
Yeah. I was looking away.
Missed.
Because that was smart of me. I was recovering. Oh my god. No way.
I'm looking at my phone. What happened?
I ran into him.
Oh, no shot!
Ah!
Oh, that is awesome!
Yes! And this right here replenishes all uses, not even one, but all of Death Defiance. Of course, I only used one, but I am in the clear now.
Very strong.
Yes.
You can actually be able to make it.
I might. I don't know if I'll actually beat it, but I should be able to make it at least to Hades.
It is worth saying, though, one thing that can get really difficult, I think, is the poison status on the last floor can definitely stop shipping into if you don't pay
Yes. I'm at least pretty good at, every time I go into the room, the first thing I do is locate the
Got to use the fountain
thing to
without-
heal me. Oh, speaking of, I don't need that.
That's just-
You don't know until you know.
What?
You don't know until you know, you know?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, then you don't know.
Ooh.
But you will.
I'm gonna take Ambrosia.
Nom, nom, nom.
I've been saving up the one I have. Because I always like to go into a run having at least one. So now I'll be able to use one.
And the ambrosia is what you give to NPCs to progress their quest line.
I'm specifically setting some aside for Thanatos because I can't give him any outside of the runs, I think. And I don't always run into him. Like, Heron I'm not as worried about because he's pretty often. But you can go runs without ever seeing Thanatos.
You can go for a while without seeing him.
Yes, so I try and always make sure I have one at hand throughout the run. As a backup. Because I don't want to be with a character I never see that I can't give Ambrosia.
It could be just said making little noises for phantoms.
Here, Thanatos. Come out.
Come out. Here,
Of course, I think he only shows up in Asphodel. Actually, no, I've seen him in other ones. But it is difficult because you have to kill more enemies than him. And there's a lot of them, and I think his attacks can hurt you. So it is kind of tricky, and I'm not sure I want to take that risk right now because I'm actually doing well.
Oh, actually, have any of you guys seen the Wanhu video on representation of Greek characters and mythology within games?
I have not.
It sounds really interesting because I feel like a lot of media gets Greek mythology so wrong.
Well, it was really interesting because he actually singled out Hades as a fascinating example of a game that tells an interesting story, but is awful at feeling authentic to a person with a Greek cultural background, and how the characters all feel extremely American.
Yeah.
And how that's kind of uncomfortable for him as someone with a family background from Greece, and especially as someone who's from an immigrant family in Canada, where kind of holding on to that cultural heritage is really important to him and a lot of his family, and how Hades in some ways feels kind of uncomfortable and disrespectful, and so he doesn't really enjoy playing it. It's always fascinating.
It certainly is interesting.
Yeah, no, it's genuinely, even if you don't agree with the video, it's fascinating to watch because it is an exploration of a person's unique relationship to their cultural
I was
history.
about to say, it's not a perspective I can get.
The depiction of stuff in media. He also, I don't know if it's out yet, but he said that he was making a video on the depiction of Greek characters in Ubisoft games particularly, specifically the games developed by Ubisoft Montreal, because of how authentically Greek they feel. Which
Like what games like that?
Well, the big ones examples would be Assassin's Creed Odyssey and I believe Immortal Phoenix Rising. I think were the big two that he was pointing at.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I haven't seen that second one. I don't know if it's out yet, but the first one was at least very fascinating. And I definitely want to watch the second one whenever it comes out because it made me think, and that's
Right. And it's exposing you to like a perspective that you probably never would have been able to experience before.
Yeah, well, also, he spoke a lot about the history of kind of Greek immigrants in Quebec, which there's a fascinating history there.
Where is it?
Yeah, no, sorry, it's just the made me think of it because of the game.
No, that's certainly interesting.
If that idea sounds interesting to you, check out Landhoot's video. I don't remember what it's called. I think it is a very... It's easy to find if you go to his channel.
If you type in the name and Hades, you'll find it. Or just Greek.
I think it's something about Greek. It might mention Hades in the title, I can't recall.
So, honestly, I have half a mind to say that if you search for it with the word Hades alongside the name,
it's probably
you'll also find it.
Yeah.
Probably, like, I mean, YouTube comments and descriptions tend to suggest stuff rather well if those keywords are not in the video title, but they're in the comments and description a lot.
Sorry, this is really funny. Timothy said Greek mythology but American, and then in parentheses, Eagle sounds funny.
I just I just used 2 Death Defiance in this room.
Oh, yikes.
And I'm about to use a 3rd.
Oh, the shield guys, yeah.
Yeah, no, Elysium can go really poorly. Some of the rooms here, like the enemy compositions of the rooms, are awful. And like we said, there are, like, almost every enemy can respawn. Almost every enemy can respawn if you don't kill them fast.
Power of Olympus.
Did you see what Colin posted in Discord?
Oh, Colin posted something in the Discord?
And I'm about to face the boss. Okay. I'm not gonna make it.
Are you like Reggie? Is your body ready?
No, I'm tired.
Oh my god. Let's take a look at this real quick.
Yeah, there you go. I think I've seen that one before. I will not talk
So
about it.
true. God, I hate Zeus.
Yeah.
Time check.
We have about 20 minutes.
That's not so bad. Especially given I'm probably gonna die here.
Yeah.
And what's this lesson?
Now, I'm not gonna say I want you to die, but if you die in about 8 minutes, that is a good time to end the event.
Yeah.
I believe.
The Minotaur and Theseus, naturally, as a duo boss fight, can take some work. Sometimes we get really good patterns in them both, and they'll just be an absolute cakewalk. But
Is there any of them?
I was gonna say that the Minotaur has some really high damage and high AoE, and Theseus, like you see, just sits in a corner and snipes you the whole time. So you can get overwhelmed.
Are there any major DOT effects in this game? I don't remember.
Dionysus.
Nice.
Dionysus was the big one, is poison.
Yeah.
And you can... Those are... I really enjoy those builds, especially because when you stack multiple, you stack the damage.
Oh yeah, that's great. I was just remembering because in Risk of Rain 2, the changes they made to Bleed with I think the anniversary update or the 1.0 update, that made DOT builds in that game very fun.
Bleed would suddenly... Oh shit.
Yeah.
I need tri-tips.
Worst status effect in the game too. The status effect that if you find a printer can carry you through members.
No, if you find a tri-tip printer in the first 2 stages, you're chilling.
Oh.
Oh.
1 arrow from Theseus.
Yep.
Sorry, just thing. Alex is going to go back to work. Good luck with the next event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing up,
Thanks for the
Alex.
donation. We will hopefully see you later. We do have some more stuff tonight, but then also we have tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you on your lunch break during, at least, not even necessarily during our lunch break, because we are closing around after 5. So hopefully you can be there for the end of everything tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good luck with work.
So I don't think I'm going to do another run, but I'm just going to kind of walk around and
Yeah,
do
I
the
think
last
you
I
got some
can
time
in
to do
here. And then I think that's it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, show off the different rooms, because there's plenty of places to go here.
Yeah. I haven't actually unlocked a lot of the rooms because, again, I've been saving up most of my stuff. Ooh, there's something interesting going on over there.
Hopefully don't do things if they're too interesting.
No, it's all just dialogue.
No, I more meant in the sense that it takes too long. Because getting
No.
invested in character stuff can sometimes happen.
Yeah, no,
Also,
I'm just
the,
reading dialogue, which I should have... Yeah, I
No,
have
20
time for.
I gotta say, I rather like Hypnos as a character, but I know a lot of people don't feel the same way because,
Did not
like,
come up.
90% of his dialogue is vaguely belittling Zagreus for dying.
Yeah, but it's funny, and he's kind of right.
I also just really like his voice. I think it's really unique and really cool.
Yeah,
Looks mournfully toward the prince.
I'm sorry, I know. I wanted to get out too.
Take care, boy.
That's okay.
You tell me if I did anything wrong, wouldn't you, Prince?
Up and away!
Didn't let me answer.
Yeah, no, Pipathy is very funny. You can
The
just
wretched broker
just
did it.
straight up go through the walls like they aren't even there.
Yup.
Alright, this is gonna be a bit.
You asked
What
our
are
training
walls to a
master.
god, after all?
Prepare
So
him for
true.
life's labors. You ordered it. Now you admonish me.
Was a mere suggestion.
Be careful of your tone and temper, Shade. You are in my employ. You could be wandering the pastures of Elysium again instead. Or lesser planes, if I so choose.
What would you have me do?
I shall be giving it some thought. Until then, you just watch that hall. And watch yourself as well.
Yeah, Hades is mad that Zagreus is trying to leave. And,
Oh.
Achilles. Man said peace.
Dipped.
Pipathy says you can go through them, or alternatively just Kool-Aid them.
Just crash through them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chaos seems to have taken somewhat of a liking to me, Nyx. They mentioned you.
They mentioned me, did they? I thought perhaps that they had long forgotten. You should
Chaos
know
is
they
such
are
a
my
fun
mother
character.
and my father, child.
When you first give
We have
them
not spoken since the dawn of
ambrosia, they're like, I don't know what the hell this is, but alright.
Like, yo, sup? This looks cool.
Thank you.
Thank you? Question mark.
Oh.
Little mortal, I don't know what that is, but I
Off
Yep.
his fist bump.
Hey. Think that's about it.
Okay, well in which case you want to send us out? Because we do need to
yeah.
do some setup stuff. Like
Yeah.
Big for Smash, at least with controllers, just to double check all of that. And I also think a lot of people wouldn't mind just quick break, grab something to eat and drink and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Of course.
Well, that was Hades. I know we didn't do many runs.
But it was 2 hours of gameplay.
It was. It's a long game. Oddly enough. Just one run.
It does tend to skew a little longer on the roguelike kind of side. Of
Yeah. And if you're not a fan of roguelikes, I think this is a good starting place. Because it just has a lot of diversity, and I find that it doesn't tutorialize, but it does explain things well. So it doesn't just leave you stranded.
It's a rather accessible game.
Yeah.
From a roguelike perspective.
And the difficulty progression is a lot gentler than a few others.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can be thrown into all three of the Fury fights right off the bat.
No.
No, only
you
Meg.
Only start fighting Meg.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to see it all.
And
it forces you to prove that you're good enough to see some of the harder stuff before it integrates back into the
yeah.
game.
And you can't add any of the added difficulties until you beat the game. But yeah, that's it for Hades, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you hopefully in the next event.
Yes, thank you everyone for stopping by, and we will be back in about 15 minutes for some Project Plus on Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Bye.
Bye!